Hey, what is going on, guys? Lon here from Android Authority, and the number of Android Wear smartwatches on the Google Play Store has grown quite a bit in the last couple of months. And every OEM sort of has their own take on what they think an Android Wear smartwatch should be, including ASUS. A company that I personally did not expect to see a smartwatch from has joined in on the mix. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the ZenWatch, ASUS's first Android Wear smartwatch. So to be honest, when ASUS first unveiled the ZenWatch back at IFA, I wasn't really all that impressed, but now that I've had the chance to use it for a while, I have to say that ASUS did a really nice job with the design of the watch. Even though it's a square watch face, they've managed to make the watch look really nice by using premium materials. You're looking at a stainless steel construction for the body and clasp, and the band is made of genuine leather, so not only does it look nice, but it feels very comfortable on the wrist. It's also not very big or heavy. The bronze/oranges color scheme isn't necessarily my favorite because it's somewhat hard to match with the rest of your wardrobe, so at least for me, it's not exactly an everyday kind of watch. There are a couple of things though about the design that I really do like. They might sound minor, but I really believe it'll make a huge difference in the appeal of the watch. One is how easy it is to remove the watch straps. Instead of having to use a tool like you would with most other Android Wear watches, on the ZenWatch all you have to do is pull on the tiny little lever and the strap comes right off. So it's going to be really easy and quick to put on any watch strap of your choice. Two is the metal clasp. It just snaps together on your wrist with a press, so not only does it make it very quick to put on the watch, but unlike the tug and fasten variety that you get with the G Watch R or the Moto 360, it's not going to damage the leather strap over time. The only thing that I found slightly odd about the design is the power button is placed on the back, making it really hard to get to when you're wearing it, although it shouldn't pose too much of a problem since there aren't many instances where you'll need it except for powering it on. The rest of the hardware on the ZenWatch is pretty standard stuff for an Android Wear watch. It's IP55, so it's dust and water resistant, and you've got the usual heart rate monitor and pedometer built in. Overall though, I would definitely say the design and build quality of the ZenWatch ranks it up there with the best of what Android Wear currently has to offer. Next up is the display, and with the ZenWatch you're looking at a 1.63 inch AMOLED display with 320 by 320 resolution, and for a smartwatch display it looks pretty good. Colors are nice and vibrant, viewing angles are good, and it gets pretty bright so it's easy to see outdoors. One thing I really like about the screen itself is the fact that there's a slight curvature to it, so when you're swiping or scrolling, your fingers just glide across the screen, so it feels a lot nicer and more natural to interact with. The bezels on the display, however, are extremely thick due to the built-in biosensor, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but since it's an AMOLED display, you're going to get those really deep blacks, so darker colored watch faces are going to blend in a lot better with those bezels. Taking a look at the specs, the ZenWatch is being powered by a Snapdragon 400 and half a gig of RAM. Pretty typical specs for an Android Wear watch right now, and considering how the Android Wear OS is the same across all Android Wear smartwatches, the performance is on par with any other Android Wear smartwatch with the Snapdragon 400. It's fast and responsive with no lag or drop frames. Obviously there aren't a ton of things you can do on Android Wear that is going to stress the CPU, but navigating through the OS, swiping through cards, and interacting with notifications has been a very smooth experience. So there's not a whole lot to say here about the performance except that it runs Android Wear about as well as any other Wear smartwatch. With Google not allowing OEMs to skin Android Wear, the overall experience is pretty much going to be the same from one Wear watch to another, so there's very little that OEMs can do right now on the software side to differentiate themselves, but ASUS has done what they can by adding a few custom watch faces. Some of them show very useful information like the date, battery life, missed calls, weather, and your daily steps. ASUS has also built a few applications that integrate with the ZenWatch, the main one being the ZenWatch Manager. So with the ZenWatch Manager, you can customize your watch faces by changing the colors and the information you want to be displayed. You can also use the ZenWatch to unlock your phone, so if your phone sees that your watch is nearby, it'll bypass the pin or pattern and let you unlock directly into the phone. You can also cover the watch with your hand to mute incoming calls or alarms, send out SOS messages to emergency contacts, find your watch with your phone or vice versa, have the watch vibrate if you stray too far away from your phone, and use it as a flashlight or compass. Although it's not really a flashlight, it just illuminates the display of the ZenWatch a solid color so you can use it as a makeshift flashlight. There's a remote camera application, and that lets you control the camera on your phone with your watch, and you can take a photo by tapping on the display or simply just twisting your wrist. ASUS has also created a wellness application for tracking your daily step goals, calories burned, and measuring your relaxation and heart rate with the built-in biosensor hidden in the bezels. It's a little bit clunky and cumbersome to have to put 2 fingers on the display, but it does work and seems to be fairly accurate. Finally, let's talk about the battery life. So it's a 360 milliamp hour battery, and I would say the battery life is pretty solid. ASUS claims that you will get a day's worth of battery out of it, but I was actually getting at least 2 days worth of battery life, even with the always screen on feature turned on. And since this is an AMOLED display, the entire screen isn't lit up even when it's in its dim state. And you could probably squeeze a little bit of extra battery life out of it if you use a watch face with a black background. Charging the ZenWatch, however, is a little bit clunky. It doesn't use a dock or wireless charger. Instead, it uses a large cradle that kind of reminds me of the original Galaxy Gear. It's not the prettiest or most elegant way of charging a smartwatch, and it's not going to look all that great sitting on your desk, but it gets the job done. The ASUS ZenWatch is available now on the Google Play Store for $200, so it's one of the cheaper options, at least in terms of price, when you compare it to the competition. And there you have it for the ASUS ZenWatch. With the stainless steel construction, the curved display, and the leather watch strap, this makes the ZenWatch one of the more elegant and classy Android Wear watches that we've seen thus far, and the additional ZenWatch specific apps give this watch a lot of extra functionality. The best part is you're getting all of this for only $200, making the ZenWatch a serious competitor in the Android Wear space. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up down below. We definitely appreciate that. And also subscribe to the channel, which is also down below if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out our website for more in-depth coverage. You already know what it is, AndroidAuthority.com, because we are your source for all things Android.